Alright guys, thought I'd put together this live video and I want to talk about this pattern right through here. So this is clearly a bull flag, right? We've got price action moving up, we've got this pennant forming, but what I want to draw your attention to is that the fact it's below the 200-day simple moving average does not make this your standard bull flag. Now this very well could break out, could be a red to green move right through here at 75.70. Probabilities suggest that because we're doing a gap down day, because we've sold off, because we've got a little bit of a relief rally and we've got a lot of downwards pressure selling, I mean, this could again break for a red to green day, do a partial gap fill. But what I'm thinking, what I'm seeing here is a bull flag below a very, very key moving average, which is the 200. Now it is above the VWAP. The way that I'd be looking at this, well, the way that I'm looking at it, because I am in this position, is I'm looking at this wick right through here, and then I'm also looking at both of these wicks right through here. And what this suggests is that maybe the demand isn't quite there. You can also see down through here that the volume is starting to drop. This is divergence. So what we could see is that this candle right through here, and I'm just going to mark the shit out of this chart, but this is what's referred to as a master candle. We've got two candles that are inside this master candle. These are called inside candles. This is pure raw consolidation, and you can see that we're priming for a potential squeeze or a further breakdown. But the way that I would be looking at this is that if 74.16 prints right through here, if these bids start to drop, they're currently going up, but if they were to drop, then this flag would fail. Now the other way that I'm looking at this is that if this master candle, up through here breaks long, we're going to test 75.48, and we're going to get into a situation where we're going to test the high of day and potentially get up into a reversion to the mean trade up into $77, which would really put the brakes on this position that I'm in because the way that this thing is moving around. I really need this thing to get back down into this 72 level. It'll put me up about 30%. I could comfortably take this off. Now, time of day, we're not even an hour into the market, right? So the way that I look at this again, big gap down, price action's pushed, we're below the 200-day simple moving average, we're not even an hour into the session, and so this is just a lot of capitulation where we haven't yet seen the actual tone of the day. You can see right through here, bird, I'm short bird, and it's trending towards the downside. So these little relief rallies, they don't bother me. This isn't a trend right through here. We've sold off, we've bounced off a 50% Fibonacci retracement level, and now we're flagging. And the question is it going to flag long, or is this flag, this bull flag, going to fail, right? So this is where I start to watch the tape. This is where I start to look at bigger candles. And ultimately, I'm looking at this candle for a long short indicator, but I think really ultimately this is probably the better candle to have a look at. And so now if I was just to sort of revise this, and this is the long short candle, the pennant is going to dictate which side of that candle we're going to take a run at. So again, I'd be watching what happens here at resistance. If we break, do we double top and roll over, or do we watch support, and does support break? Do we take a run back at VWAP, take a run back at 73, and then move into that 71, 76, and then start taking out some of those lower levels? Based on the overall trend, I would say the latter. This is why it's important to do multiple time frame analysis, but you can see right through here that we have sold off over the last 3 days. We've put in a bit of a floor, and there is a bit of a short-term push right through here on this daily chart. Got to see what happens, right? So again, just wanted to do sort of a live video how I sort of look at candles in the middle of the session, and just sort of the way that I look at stuff and how I use the tape. So again, this is going to be a key level to watch here, 75.85 and 73.05, and then I want to see what happens here on the tape. Currently, now that I'm just sort of talking and I'm here now, the way that this is looking is that this flag is going to break long. It's going to take out this resistance level right through here, which could be happening right now, and then 75.50s, we're going to be taking a run at 75.85. And again, I'm not too concerned because this is all a relief rally. You have to look at what's going on here. We've got a bull flag that's breaking out with bullish volume decreasing. That is 100% bearish divergence. I can sit through this. I can sit through this no problem. Because that divergence is coming through, this suggests to me that this will fade. Although it might break out short term, the divergence is telling me that this will fade. So you can see right through here real time, we've got 75, 85 kind of being looked at. We've just dropped into 37s, as in 75 37s. And now you can see that they move in sort of 20-cent increments, but this is all computer movement. What I'm looking for down through here are bigger prints, bigger orders, 20,500 shares being dropped. That was a little while ago, but I'm looking for bigger prints down through here that could potentially be coming through dark pools. And you can see that these numbers are odd lot numbers, they're large numbers, and they're a lot bigger than these standard 100, 200, 300 share lots. Why is that? These are traders, these are computers. Okay, so again, you can see that we're sort of pin barring up in that area. Big question is the volume going to come off here? We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars long, and we've had a lot of reaching. One of these things, this is what trading is about. This is what being patient in a trade is about. This is what understanding price action is about. This is what understanding key candles is about. You can see that 75s are starting to bid, and we're stepping back into that level, 75s. The big question is, do we get, like 74 and a halves? Can we get a 74, 77 bid? A 74, 77 bid, right? So the bids are going to drop. If we get a 77, 74 bid, you can see that we're bidding below right through here, so that could push price action lower. Big thing is we want to take this candle out. 74.82. Let's see if those can bid. This is how I look at the markets in real time, and this is how I sort of stay focused on the charts and what I should be doing, right? So again, there's that bull flag. It's printing. We've got that resistance right through there, and we've got bearish divergence. We've got a lead-in trend that's bearish. That's bullish divergence, pardon me. And so the big question is, do we get some bearish volume stepping in, right? Does the tape really start to drop? I want to see these bids drop. You see the bids are sort of holding the 75 zone. I want to see this floor come out and get into sort of these 71 levels. I want to start to go through all of these areas right through here, but you can see 75.15 bidding at 100 shares, right? This isn't huge volume. Ultimately, what would be fantastic is we see a low number bid in the 73 level, and then these are between. That's why they're white and not green or red. But anyways, you can see again we're bidding a little bit higher here. Does it worry me? Nah, not really, because you can see that the volume is dropping. That's something to look at. Volume is dropping. Price action is still moving up. That's bearish divergence. The lead-in trend, bearish. Gap down, bearish. Like there's so many bearish factors that are going on in this particular play right here, right now, that it suggests that the longer-term move is going to be geared towards the downside, and that's what you got to focus on. Question is 75, so we're bidding again. Are we going to bid lower? See, there's something about this $75 psychological number that is holding price action, which suggests one of two things. 75s are going to hold, or you're going to get a huge dump below 75s, and then they're going to get taken out. Support's being tested. $75 is support. You see the tape is speeding up a little bit? $75 is support. What happens, and I don't know the answer to this, but yes I do, what happens when 75 gets taken out? Price action is going to start to find lower levels. Then we'll start bidding lower and lower and lower. So, again, it's not even an hour into the market. It's 10:15. We're 45 minutes into this. Is a brand new market, and a lot of random orders are being processed, pushed through, and now we are waiting. So it's not clearly a sell-off that's happening first thing in the morning. What we're waiting on here is we are waiting for this flag to break down. We're waiting for some 74 bids to come through, and we want to see price action drop. And so these rallies are very, very normal. You can see we've got a rally here into VWAP. Big question is, can we get below 1668? Don't know, but that's what we're waiting for. I never know what these things are going to do, right? I just know that over a long period of testing and time, you start to get an idea of what can potentially happen. But when you're in the moment, in the actual trade, I never know what's going to happen. All of my decisions are based on what has happened in the past, what I've seen through testing, and I forward test it. This is what I've seen before. This is where I'm putting on my risk. This is how I'm going to manage my size. This is how I'm going to manage watching the tape. This is what's of importance to me. There's that 75 showing up again. That is support. When that breaks, this could potentially start to really speed up. It's fucking holding. Just go. You can see that the volume is starting to step up on the sell side. 75 is support. So you can see that it's really bidding. Really, really bidding. And the thing is, what happens if it cracks? The next order is 74.88. If that confirms, we're going to go and we're going to move lower. So I'm going to watch this 75 zone, and I want to see if this bull flag, quote unquote, fails, which, I mean, based on the fact of where it's located, I'm not going to say that it should, but it very well could, because it's below that 200-day simple moving average. But I want to see what happens here at 75s when 75s are taken out to the downside. If 75s are taken out to the downside, you can see that it keeps printing, it keeps showing up. This is how you can understand where actual short-term support is. Yes, we're looking at a chart. Yes, we're looking at all of this sort of stuff. But the prints, this is where the market is telling you, based on the prints, where support is. So our support right now is 75. We always come back down to it. We step up off of it slightly. So what happens, and I don't know the answer to this, but what happens if 75s get taken out and then they're on the ask, and then there's big size on the bid at lower levels? Well, one could take a shot in the dark here and say that price action's about to move lower. So 75s, they're bidding, they're holding. There's size right there. You can see that there's a wall here, there's a floor here. One of these need to get taken out for price action to move. And the big question is now, inside candle, we got to look at the previous candle. There's zero movement. This video is now 12 minutes long, and there's zero movement because we're caught in this candle. If this high gets taken out, we're going to take an immediate shot at 75.85. If this candle low gets taken out at 74.75, which is coming right through here, then we're going to start to take a shot at trendline resistance. Trendline resistance goes, we're then going to start to step down. And there it is. There it is. That is a bull flag failing. It's moved right down to VWAP. Volume is stepping in, and you saw the bids, how they stepped up off of $75 support. I hope this video helped. I did this in real time because I was getting sick of sitting here waiting. So that's me teaching you on the fly about how to track true support levels with tape, and the importance of looking at bullish patterns below long-term moving averages like the 200-day simple moving average, which is where I started with this whole thing. I went off track, tangent here, tangent there, but I hope some of this has helped. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me.